Hello everyone, my name is Angelina Davydova. I'm an environmental journalist and director of the Office of Environmental Information from St. Petersburg, Russia. I've been a guest at Indiana University Bloomington 3 times already, and I made a few presentations and I took part in a couple of seminars, and I love the place a lot and I look forward to coming back. However, now the borders have been closed for the last 3 months. Planes don't fly. We're stuck at our cities, countries, apartments, and it's a completely new life for everyone on this planet. And it's also a completely new life and a completely new world for environmental activists and environmental journalists and anyone engaged in the civil society sector in Russia as well. In this short video message, I would like to share the experiences which I had over the last few months, and to tell about new thoughts, new ideas, new activities I've been involved in. And I will start by saying that surprisingly, the amount of work has not really diminished, and the amount of events, nowadays all online events, has even increased. I would say the number of Zooms I've been taking part in, as probably as everyone else, has been something between 40 and 50. The topic which interests people mostly, if we speak of public events, are the topic of green agenda after the pandemic. What is going to happen with environmental movement, environmental policies, climate policy? Are we still going to be thinking about climate change when the whole thing is over? Will we have enough money for environmental policy? What about renewable energy? So I've been asked really a lot of times to speak about those issues on the global level and also on the level of Russia, to take part in panels or to moderate panels on this subject. And I feel like this is one of the biggest questions for everyone in the sector. In Russia in particular, we've been mostly fascinated, and we've been mostly following about what's happening elsewhere with regard to the green agenda. Unfortunately, on the state level, the green agenda in Russia has not been very present. On the contrary, the representatives of large companies have even asked the government to ease up environmental regulation, and I was also writing about it in my articles. That has happened yet, but we keep on following how the situation develops. Another trend which we were observing here is that some countries have included green measures of economic recovery in their plans for the after COVID life. Here, once again, unfortunately, Russia was not the case. In the current version of Russia's economic recovery plan, there are no green or climate-friendly measures included. So that was more on the bad side. And probably like the very, very bad event has happened a couple of weeks ago when Russia's largest producer of nickel and other rare metals, Nornickel, has had a disaster in the Arctic. And that is when the storage of the oil products has leaked. That storage was built in the permafrost area, and the basement structures have melted and have shifted, and that led to one of the largest environmental catastrophes in the Arctic, which is still unraveling now. Both the company and authorities are trying to deal with it now. Environmentalists keep calling up for the company to disclose all the information and all the causes for the disaster. And it's probably one of the largest topics in Russian media landscape, well, obviously after the pandemic and everything connected with the pandemic. But there are also good news. And the good news is that environmental movements and environmental coverage are still here. And apart from talking about the future green life after the pandemic, we'll also speak about what's happening now. There have been a lot of talks and discussions about the increasing amount of waste, including medical waste, and a number of environmental activists have been calling up to create a system of separate collection of medical waste from general public, which is still not here. Then recycling sector has had quite a few problems during the pandemic, as waste sorting facilities have been closed because they rely very much on manual labor. The third negative aspect is that there have been further plans announced of constructing further incineries across Russia, and that had already led to a campaign, very active protest online campaign at the moment. Speaking of which, online campaigns, both protest online campaigns and online campaigns which are trying to make our lives greener and better, are still here. Many activists are trying to adapt to new conditions and find out how can they work with their communities online, and how can they still get support and people trying to lead environmentally friendly life even in these conditions. This is not easy, but however, this is still something which is in our minds, and which is the environmental community is working very actively on. And last but not the least, I would also mention that the whole idea of cities and further urban development, also sustainable urban development, has been a very urgent topic. I've been asked to create and moderate a special course for the Moscow Architecture School called Marsh, and that special course is about sustainable territorial development. That is a question which is very acute for many urban settlements and rural settlements across Russia, many of which still have old Soviet infrastructure, which is sometimes cracks down or becomes dilapidated and old. And the real question is, what is the future of the cities? What is the future of small cities? How can we really take into consideration all factors, economic, social, environmental? How can we provide for the sustainable development goals to be realized at the urban level? How can we really start thinking about our cities and start actually building our cities and rebuilding our cities as healthy cities, sustainable cities, equitable and resilient? All these questions are becoming ever more important for Russian urban and rural contexts. And here the demand for this information, also the demand for exchange of opinions is really big. So I did that course, and then I also participated and moderated a number of discussions on this issue, including one series of discussions between Russian and German scholars and Russian and German experts on sustainable urban development, with ideas about how architecture will change, how city planning will change, how general life in cities will change, and also how our approach to what is a healthy city and environmental city will also change. So there's a lot of talk about it, and this is also something which keeps me positive, because I almost have a feeling that after the pandemic is over and after the cities keep opening up, I feel like not everyone wants to go back to what we had before, but many people, experts, but also general public, are trying to look at it under the new perspective, and are trying to look at it in a way that maybe it is a chance to start thinking about other risks, be it risks, climate change risks, environmental risks, social risks, risks connected with inequality, poverty, and many other aspects. And what can we do better? How can we rebuild our cities and rebuild our lives in these new cities? Maybe we should also open up our eyes and try and look at other risks and try to take them into consideration and try to integrate resilience into literally every aspect of our life. So I believe that this has been a very productive time. This was also the time when I literally, personally had a chance to take a paper book in my hands and read it in the mornings and read it in the evenings, which was very rewarding. Once the parks have been opened, I had a chance to go out for long walks and enjoy nature, and then realize the importance of nature in our life and the importance of every particular tree in your life. This is also one of the ideas, and this is also one of the new ideas which I believe many people have had. Like, if you're stuck in your little tiny urban apartment and you don't have access to nature, does it make you sad? Does it make you depressed? What can you do about it? And I believe this is also maybe could become a reason for different thinking in the way our cities will be planned and our cities will be constructed. I guess that's it for now. This has been what I've been thinking about over the last couple of months and what I've been involved in over the last couple of months. Apart from that, writing a lot of articles, doing a lot of lectures, talking to a lot of people on Zoom, celebrating life on Zoom, and celebrating life outside when it is possible now. Wishing you all the best, and I hope to stay in touch, and I also hope to see you soon in a few months and be able to engage in a very exciting and interesting conversation about the future of life, the future of environmental policy, the future of environmental grassroots movements, and the future of this planet and the future of us. Thank you.